Dachau. The train ride was terrible. The train pulled up and pulled back, up and back. We ate snow for water. A man was in there with his son who went crazy. The son grabbed the father by the neck and choked him to death. At Dachau, there was a selection for the typhus blocks. I had a friend from Radom who was strong. He could have made it, but they put him in the typhus block. I left Dachau on the 26th or 27th of April, 1945. I was liberated on May 1st. During this time, we were traveling on trains. We were in Tutzing, and in Feldafing, and in Garmisch. There were big mountains there. One day they had to get us out of the train. We had to go up 20 feet to the other side of the mountain. Then the Germans set up machine guns and started to fire at us. A few hundred were killed as we ran back to the train. The next day we heard planes dropping bombs. A few hours later, the soldiers opened the door to the train. They said they needed a few people to work cleaning up the bombs, but we were scared to go. So they said, you, and you, out! And they caught me. I said to myself, I think this is the end. After all these years in the ghetto and losing everybody, now this is the end. Who is going to be left to say Kaddish for my family? We went to the small town on the other side of the mountain where the train station had been bombed. To one man they gave a shovel, to another a broom, and to me they gave a pick. I saw a counter in the station where they were selling little black breads. I said to myself that I would like to eat a piece of bread before they kill me. I was ready for Kiddush Hashem. I grabbed a little dark bread into my jacket and started eating it. A soldier saw me and he howled, "Go to work!" I stayed until I had eaten the bread. I did not move, even though he beat me. I fell down and he kicked me and I got up. I had to finish eating that little bread. Blood was running down my head. When I finished, I went to work. I had gotten my wish. Then I knew I was going to survive. Early at 4 a.m. the next morning, near Tutzing, we heard heavy traffic on the highway. We pushed to look out of the two little windows of the train. We expected to see the Russians coming, but it was the Americans. We hollered. A jeep drove up with two soldiers. One was a short man, an MP. He spoke good German. He asked who we were. We said we were from the concentration camps. Everyone started hollering and crying. The American soldiers said we were free. They arrested the Germans, and the Germans got scared. It was May 1st, 1945. The Americans cooked rice for us. The MP saw me take some rice and said, "Don't eat that. If you do, you will die. There's too much fat in that for you to eat now, because your stomach has shrunk. If you eat that, you will get diarrhea. I will give you a piece of bread, and you should toast it." "What is toast?" I said. "Toast is when you make the bread hard." They brought us to the Feldafing. I sat in the sun. I boiled a little water and sugar. In 2 weeks, my stomach stretched. They gave us pajamas to wear, but we had no shoes. One day, I saw the MP in the jeep. We said to him, "You gave us freedom, but we have no clothes." He said, "I am 3 kilometers away from here. Come tomorrow at 7 a.m. We were there at 6 a.m. We saw the soldiers get breakfast. He signaled for us to get breakfast too, and he told the captain about us. The captain said to bring us in. We were nearly naked in our pajamas with no shoes. The captain gave us a paper to go to the PX, and we got shoes, pants, shirts, and jackets. We were told to come back at lunchtime. We got 3 meals a day for weeks. At the displaced persons camp in Feldafing, a man asked me to bring food to his niece, who was in the hospital. I brought her oranges, bread, and butter. When she got well, she gave me a pair of white linen pants. "You saved my life," she said. In Germany, Feldafing had a big name as a place where you could go to find missing people. They put up lists of names of survivors on the walls. A lot of liberated people came looking for relatives. A friend of mine came with two ladies, one of whom I knew from before, and the other, Sophia, was my wife's friend. Sophia said, "You were in the fur business. My girlfriend's family was in the fur business too. Did you ever hear the name Bertzen?" I said, "I used to deal with the Bertzens." She asked me to come to Turkheim to meet her. I had nothing to lose. Two brothers from Lotz, tailors, made me a suit with 2 pairs of pants out of a gray and white blanket. My friend and I put our belongings together in one package and went out on the highway to hitchhike to Turkheim. I left Feldafing in August of 1945. The next day, my wife Frida came to see Sophia. My wife was shy and couldn't come downstairs to meet me. So Sophia said to her, "Go to the window and take a look." She looked. Since then, I say, my wife looked through the window and took a fishing rod, and she got me. We got married in November 1946. My wife was from the same town as I was, and I used to deal with her family. With us, there was a feeling like a family. We were very poor at that time. You had to have a card to buy things. I went to the Burgmeister, who was like the mayor, to get coupons to get a suit. The problem was that I did not have any money to buy it. My wife and Sophia had a little money that they loaned me to buy a suit, and I loaned this suit to my friend when he got married. My wife had no dress. We were going to get married on Saturday night. Saturday during the day, I knocked on the door of this German woman I knew. I had spoken to her in the street, and we had talked a few times. She had a daughter who was the same size as Frida. I got 2 packages of cigarettes, 2 Hershey chocolate bars, and a little can of coffee, and put them into a paper bag. When she answered the door, we talked, and she said to me, "Oh, I saw at the city hall that you were going to get married." "Yes," I said, "and I am very sorry, but my bride has no dress." Her daughter said, "Oh, no!" and she jumped to the ceiling. Her mother asked her, "Why do you jump? He never said anything about you." She said, "He's going to want a dress." I said, "Yes, I want a dress." I told that lady that I did not come to rob her. I came to ask her to help me. I went over to the cedar robe and opened the door, and I saw a sky blue dress. I took up the dress on the hanger and held it up and saw that it was a beautiful color. The daughter started crying. I took the little bag and turned it over on the table and said, "This is the money. This is all that I have. Later on, if I have some, I am going to pay more." The mother said, "Take it." I thanked her and walked out. The daughter was crying. Later on, when I built myself up, I never went back to the house because I did not want the daughter to get angry. I saw the mother on the street and talked to her. I did not say to her, "What you people did to us." We got married on November 11th, 1946. All the Greeners in our town came to the wedding. My friend left early on Friday and brought some home carp fish and ducks and a goose. We had challah and cakes, and there was singing and dancing. There was just one thing missing: relatives. We moved from Turkheim to Landsberg, and after 4 years we came to the United States. My son was born on May the 13th, 1948. The State of Israel was born on May 14th, 1948. We came to New Orleans in 1949. I could not speak English. I went to a fur shop and they gave me fur and pointed to a sewing machine. I sewed. Then I pointed to a frame for stretching the skins and showed them that I could do that. I also picked up a knife and showed them I could cut. They hired me at 50 cents an hour, even though the going rate for beginners was 75 cents an hour. I bought a sewing machine for $50 and started taking in work. Then I was hired by Haspel Brothers store where I was a foreman. I built myself up and we raised and educated our 2 children. After 28 years, Frida and I went on our first vacation in 1978 to Israel. There were 375,000 Jews living in Warsaw before the war. I doubt that there are 5,000 living there today. It is very, very important to me to tell this story.